Hello everyone, in this video we're going to explore sequence and series. We'll be discussing topics like arithmetic sequence, geometric sequence, and we'll be also discussing series, and I'm also going to include sigma notation in this video. So let us go ahead and begin. Let us talk about the difference between arithmetic sequence and geometric sequence. So an arithmetic sequence is a sequence that has a common difference. An arithmetic sequence is a sequence that has a common difference. And a geometric sequence is a sequence that has a common ratio. That's a difference between arithmetic sequence and geometric sequence. Let us make an example. Let's say maybe we have sequence like 2, 5, 8, and 11. So the difference between two consecutive terms for this particular sequence is 3. So you can clearly see the difference between any two consecutive terms is common. So an arithmetic sequence is a sequence that has a common difference, and a geometric sequence is a sequence that has a common ratio. Let us say maybe you have 2, 6, 18. So in order to get 6, we need to multiply 2 by 3. In order to get 18, we need to multiply 6 by 3. So the common ratio for this sequence is 3. The general formula for arithmetic sequence is Tn is equal to A plus n minus 1 times d. That's a general formula for arithmetic sequence. And a general formula for geometric sequence is Tn is equal to A r to the power of n minus 1. So this is the two difference between arithmetic sequence and geometric sequence. So let us go and do some examples based on these two sequences. Consider this example. The second term is 1 and the ninth term is negative 34. Is an arithmetic sequence. Find the first term, the common difference, and the general term. So in order to find first term, common difference, and the general term for this sequence, we need to first expand or consider the information given in this example. So the second term is equal to 1, and if you recall this formula, Tn is equal to A plus n minus 1 times d. So T2 is equal to A plus. So in replace n with 2 minus 1 times d. So T2 is equal to A. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 times d is d. So T2 is A plus d is equal to 1. Once you have two unknowns in an equation, rename that equation as equation 1. The ninth term for this problem is equal to negative 34. So T9 is equal to negative 34. And we can also use this formula. T9 is equal to A plus 9 minus 1 times d. 9 minus 1 is 8. So it's going to be 8d. T9 is A plus 8d. A plus 8d is equal to negative 34. This is equation 2. A plus d is equal to 1. This is equation 1. And equation 2 was A plus 8d is equal to negative 34. This is equation 2. How can you solve for A and D if we have equation 1 and equation 2? So in order to solve for A and D, we can use the system of two equations, or we can use substitution or elimination process. So let us solve these two equations by the process of elimination. So we need to eliminate a because it's much simple to eliminate a. So in order to eliminate a, we're going to say equation 2 minus equation 1. So a minus a minus a, they will cancel out. A d minus d, we're going to get 7d. Negative 34 minus 1, you are going to get negative 34 minus 1, it's negative 35. Divide both sides by 7. So 7 and 7, they'll cancel out. Negative 35 divided by 7, it's negative 5. So d is equal to negative 5. Now we have a value of d, which is our common difference. How can you find a? So in order to find a, we are going to substitute d is equal to negative 5 into any equation, whether it's equation 1 or equation 2, we are going to get same answer. So let us substitute d is equal to negative 5 into equation 1. Equation 1 is much simpler than equation 2. So let us substitute d is equal to negative 5 into equation 1. So replace d with negative 5 is equal to 1. So transpose negative 5 into the other side of the equation. So it's going to be 1 plus 5. 1 plus 5 is 6. So a is equal to 6. Now we have common difference and the first term of the sequence. We need to find the general equation of we need to find the general term of the sequence. The general equation of the sequence is a plus n minus 1 times d. Our first term is 6 and the common difference is negative 5. Let us distribute this bracket by negative 5. So negative 5 times n is negative 5n. Negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5 plus 6. So Tn, therefore Tn, our general equation, is going to be negative 5n. 5 plus 6 is 11. So Tn is equal to negative 5n plus 11. Consider this example. The fourth term is 24 and seventh term is 192 in a geometric sequence. Determine the general term of the sequence. How can we determine the general term of the sequence? So this is a geometric sequence. The standard form for geometric sequence is Cn is equal to ar to the power of n minus 1. So the fourth term T4 is equal to 24 and seventh term is 192. T7 is equal to 192. So the fourth term is ar to the power of 3 is equal to 24 and seventh term is ar to the power of 6. It's always one lesser than the current term, so it's equal to 192. Clear. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So in order to solve for a and r in this sub of equations, we need to divide equation 2 by equation 1. So equation 2 is ar to the power of 6 is equal to 192 divided by ar to the power of 3. So divide right hand side by 24. Let us continue here. A and a, they will cancel out. R to the power of 6 divided by r to the power of 3. When you divide same bases, you subtract the exponent, so it's going to be r to the power of 3. 192 divided by 24, 8. 192 divided by 24 is equal to 8. In order to solve for r, we need to apply cube roots to both sides. Cube root of 8 is equal to 2. So the value of r is equal to 2. How can you solve for a? So in order to solve for a, substitute r is equal to 2 into, whether it's equation 1 or equation 2, we are going to get the same answer. So substitute r is equal to 2 into equation 1. So equation 1 is much simpler than equation 2. So it's going to be a into r is equal to 2 to the power of 3 is equal to 24. Then 2 to the power of 3 is 8. 24 divided by 8 is equal to 3. 24 divided by 8 is equal to 3. So our first term is equal to 3. Then the general equation for this type of sequence, Cn is equal to a r to the power of n minus 1 is equal to, Cn is equal to a is equal to 3. And our common ratio, which is r, is equal to 2 to the power of n minus 1. That's how we can determine the general term for this type of sequence. Feel free to try this exercise or particular example. So feel free to try this one, and feel free to pause the video and rewind or unpause the video after you've tried this one. So in this one, they are saying x plus 2, x 2x plus 3 are the first three terms of an arithmetic sequence. Determine the value of x. How can you determine the value of x? So they've already told us that this sequence is an arithmetic sequence. This sequence is an arithmetic sequence. An arithmetic sequence is a sequence that has a common difference. So an arithmetic sequence is a sequence that has a common difference. X plus 2x plus 3 are the first three terms of an arithmetic sequence. So the difference between two consecutive terms is common. So the difference between x and x plus 2, x minus x plus 2 is x minus x. X minus x, they will cancel out. So the difference here is minus 2. So the difference between 2x plus 3 and x, 2x plus 3 minus x. So 2x minus x is x plus 3. So since an arithmetic sequence has a common difference, then that means x plus 3 must be equal to negative 2, because of the difference of, in arithmetic sequence, the difference is common. So how can you solve for x in this particular example? We need to transpose 3 to the other side of the equation. So minus 2 minus 3. Minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. X is equal to minus 5.